My husband ruined my life when he was declared an RSO. I really hope this belongs here. I had to create a new account since my husband, ironically somehow, knows my main account. 25F, and my husband, 31M, have been together for 5 years, married for 2, and from the outside, we have the perfect life. We have the house, the garden, good jobs with benefits, 2 adorable pets, and a supportive circle of friends. We share the same hobbies and goals, and I swore this was the man I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Recently, he, after disappearing for 2 days, came back and told me he was arrested for trying to meet with a minor, but it turned out to be a sting, and suddenly everything went wrong. I almost lost my mind worrying about him, and then he destroys my world with this revelation. The trial lasted an entire year, and it ended with him having to register for life as a SO. Throughout it all, he's been hiding information from me, and the information I've found has been through searching his computer and police reports, piecing it together myself. He has been begging for forgiveness nonstop, and his family is also trying to get me to forgive him. My family has been supporting me as best they can from my home country, but they want to pretend he won't have to register permanently with another state if we move. He can't be unsupervised with a minor, and this shame will hang over our heads forever. I can only be grateful that we live in CA, so there was no public notification to our neighbors, but I am absolutely mortified to go outside. Unfortunately for me, I'm an immigrant and therefore a green card holder, so my ability to stay in the country is tied to him. I love my life here, my job, my friends. I feel like I've made a real home here. I also resent him for destroying the life we've built since we were discussing having children, and now I can't even imagine the idea of having kids with him. I've worked through all my emotions and I'm ready for a divorce, and I really want to be able to build a life here for myself, but as things stand, it's very unlikely. And so I've been punishing myself because all this work I've put into making this a home for us has been destroyed, and I've basically spent the last few nights mourning. I haven't talked to any of my friends here and honestly don't know what to do. I'm thinking of quitting my job. I can't work outside of CA, and just packing up since he can no longer sponsor me once my card expires, and I'll be living here illegally. Sorry for any grammar and punctuation mistakes. I'm on my phone. Edit. Thank you all for the kind words and support. I could never have expected such an outpouring of kindness and advice. I have made an appointment with an immigration lawyer and have taken notes of all the important points and questions shared here. I hope to come back with good news. I'll keep my hopes tempered, but I'm encouraged by all these comments. Edit 2. I don't know how to feel about being at the top of the most viewed posts, haha. I think this is the first time this week that I've cried happy tears. I'm flattered and so grateful for all the good wishes and feel so seen and validated, which is something I've struggled with during this process. Again, thank you all for taking the time to read what was a moment of desperation, indescribable and overwhelming sadness, and turning it into a story of hope. Thank you. Then solve it or get on a plane, which was the most sobering message and honestly a catalyst for wanting to leave as soon as possible. I was told that notifying my friends and neighbors was stupid and that I overestimated their need to care. Having this life-changing situation reduced to a binary definitely showed me that they never really cared how I felt during this, and it's a sure sign that this is normal for them, in a sense. He has been treating me as if I committed the crime and his poor son was just an innocent bystander, which makes me wonder what has been said, but at this point, I no longer care. His son has taken the opposite stance and is so remorseful and regretful, and now realizes what he had in this relationship and if he lost me, he wouldn't know what to do, etc., etc., and it's so funny how someone can change right before your eyes. I loved this man with every atom, every fiber of my being, and now I'm disgusted every time he looks in my direction. I only talk to him when necessary, and it's almost like we don't even live together. A girl can dream, right? I'm not sure if this qualifies as a true update, but unlike the first post, I have some hope. I hope to completely remove myself from this situation and rebuild what has been a beautiful life outside of this. I want to save for the lawyer, an apartment, and I also plan to make therapy a regular thing to deal with all the undue stress, trauma, and insomnia this has caused me, and unless I'm threatened with legal action, which I don't think they can do, I'll let my friends and neighbors know in secret to allow them to decide for themselves. I'm less afraid of losing my friends now since I know I would have liked to have the knowledge to make the decision if I were in their place. Thanks for reading. I hope to have a happier and more positive update later on. Update. I thought it would be fair to provide a mini update since I think I have a better plan than before. Summary of the first post. My husband tried to meet with a minor, was caught in a sting operation, and is now a level 3 RSO. I am an immigrant who had started building my life with what I thought was the love of my life, but now I have to pick up the pieces as best I can. I would like to thank everyone for the kind wishes and support, but also use this time to clarify that I do not support his actions and decisions. There were some concerned comments that I was only thinking about myself and not the children, but to accurately and fully capture all the thoughts and feelings that were going through my mind would require a book at this point, and this post started as a vent, a rant about how unfair a situation was that shouldn't have involved me, and it took center stage to make me a victim. For the record, I think what he did was absolutely monstrous and disgusting, and if there were any way for him to spend his life in prison, I would happily support it. Unfortunately for all of us, he was able to avoid jail time. I met with the immigration lawyer for a consultation and, as many of you said, he reiterated that his actions should not affect my ability to apply for my 10-year GC. I currently have a 2-year one. The call was very short, and the lawyer informed me that the hurdle had been overcome, and whether I chose to divorce or not, I would still be fine. Unfortunately, I can only apply 3 months before this GC expires, which would be at the end of October. Then he quoted me his fees, which, phew, I have some saving to do. I'm still looking and contacting others to see if I can get representation cheaper, but it seems it will be a waiting and saving game, which, honestly, I'm not sure I can do. Obviously, I would love to divorce him immediately, but I'm still trying to set up a consultation with a divorce lawyer here to make sure I know all my rights and options. He has also forbidden me from notifying our neighbors, who have children, since he is trying to file an appeal and supposedly, his information will be removed from the site if there is an ongoing case. His parents have maintained their stance and haven't spoken to me since the deliberation, which was painful, but my tears have already dried.